Vortex, I've been listening to this Kanye West album pretty incessantly for the past week. I'll probably give it another week or two. I like to listen to the same thing over and over again to really understand where the artist was coming from, and there's always something that you catch. If you're as much of a music buff as I am, you'll listen to the same thing and it'll still sound new. And that's really awesome if you can make music like that. That's truly a gift. But yeah, I was just listening to him and thinking about how all these rappers, like, they talk such a big game, and then a lot of them die early or their families get sacrificed. And, I was thinking about this song, like, Through the Wire, and, this song is all about when his jaw was wired shut. And, I don't know how much more obvious it can get that they were trying to kill his ass than for him to end up in some, like, major car accident where his jaw got wired shut. I just find that interesting. Because it's like, I think a lot of the things that happen to us are symbolic. They're either symbolic to us because of what we need at the time, or they're symbolic to the people that run everything because they're trying to send some sort of message. But, I mean, he's mentioned all this stuff about the sacrifices that these people perform. But, yeah, I've never understood why people want to be famous. I've never understood why people, I guess they're face value people. They don't understand that, like, it doesn't mean anything to be a celebrity. Really, all that it means is that you're a slave to the industries now. So if you're famous, if you have some sort of status in this world that's pretty high, then that means that at any given point, they can tell you, like, no, you can't do this. You're not allowed to do this because you're too famous to say the things that you're saying. You're too famous to believe the things that you're believing. That's why Kanye will say stuff that's true, and then there'll be all these other things that he says that are just like, what the fuck, Kanye? And I'm not talking about whatever you think I'm talking about, okay? Because I think that of all of the people in the music industry, he's probably one of the realest people, which is why he's so offensive and full of himself. Well, because, like, when you're not afraid to be different and piss off people and grab microphones out of people's hands and fuck Taylor Swift anyway, like, think about it like that. Taylor Swift is like this real, like, seemingly wholesome blonde chick. She started off as a country singer, am I correct? Well, now she's like this pop star, and all these young girls look up to her. And so, of course, she had to go the whole feminist route. But that's an example right there of how, like, in the beginning, these people are all wholesome, and they seem like whatever they are, like, initially, is just manipulated. And I've seen this with every single artist and musician and band that I've been a huge fan of. And I've noticed it since I was a kid, how all of these artists change. And they significantly change, and it's not because of their life experience, it's because of the industry's telling them, you have to talk about this. if you're a rapper, you gotta talk about guns at some point. You gotta talk about titties. You gotta talk about drugs, and drinking Cristal and Hennessy and shit like that. You have to promote some sort of degenerate stereotype. You know, just like country songs are about trucks and drinking, sitting in the back seat of a truck, and, you know, staring up at the sky, you know, in the back seat of a truck. Truck bed. That's what that is. Yeah, so rappers have a thing where they just constantly have to boast about, like, being the best rapper, or like, I was in the game before y'all was playing. You know, it's really annoying. I listen to Jay-Z though, so I'm used to it, but it's still not any less annoying. But hip-hop artists do it too, but nowhere near as bad as rappers. I know that rappers are in hip-hop, and hip-hop artists are involved in rap music. You don't have to explain that to me. But I think that hip-hop is way more about life experience, whereas rap is just about, like, the bling, 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 you know? So it's definitely degenerate. But I don't think it's just degenerate because, yeah, they're talking about guns and sex and drugs, and it's really degenerate because it's all about wealth, you know? It's just boasting about money, it's boasting about status, it's boasting about superiority, and, you know? So the rappers that I like a lot have humility. Like, with all of their arrogance, they have a lot of humility as well. So it's possible, it's just very, very rare. But anyway, yeah, y'all know my favorite rapper was supposedly murdered at 25. I don't think he was actually murdered, especially since they came forward recently and they said, we finally caught Tupac's killer. Really? Just that right there, it leads me to believe that motherfucker ain't even dead.